So there are a lot of attorneys in the United States of America, and when it comes to attorney, there are some who can practice in just the jurisdiction that has been assigned to them, either by county, either by state, and there are some who go higher by practicing at the Supreme Court of the United States of America. Today, I'm going to talk to an attorney. This attorney has not just lifted, the level of which he started this law and all immigration, but he can practice at the Supreme Court of the United States, and he has been appointed as the deputy or the assistant prosecutor for the county of Mahoning, and I would like to have a conversation with him. Thank you so much for joining us, and I have lawyer Ebenezer Appiagyei. Lawyer, thank you for having us.
Thank you so much for having me too.
It's been an up and down just to get this.
It has to be. You are more busy than I am. I thought I was, but you have beat me.
Lawyer, we are managing. Okay. Attorney at law. Lawyer, let me congratulate you, on your appointment as the assistant prosecutor for the Mahoning County.
Thank you.
And lawyer, how different is it, assistant prosecutor, like your current position, and what you used to do as an immigration lawyer? How different is it?
So, an assistant prosecutor, in Ohio, we represent the state, or you represent the county.
Okay.
So you are more of a government attorney.
Okay.
And when we talk about practicing immigration, it's more of a private attorney. So either you work for yourself or you work with a law firm.
Okay.
And immigration practice is federal practice. It's more of a federal administrative law.
Okay.
So that is totally different. But when you are an assistant prosecutor, you have, like you said in this year, you have a jurisdiction that you are in charge of. So we are in charge of prosecuting crime, civil issues, tax issues, child abuse, neglect, and everything that happens in the county. So let's say in Ghana, it's going to be like a district or a region. So you are in charge of maybe Ashanti region. You prosecute all crimes and all civil wrong and whatever that goes on that entails with the law.
Wow! Congratulations!
Yeah.
Congratulations. Being an immigrant, and rising to this particular level, it's good, especially for the should I say the black community?
Yes.
And looking at the crime rate and all that. Let's start from the aspect of immigration. You've been an immigration lawyer for a very long time, and you have all these experiences. There have been so many issues when it comes to immigration issue concerning Ghanaians, Africans, Mexicans. How is it like? What has been your experience?
So what I've come to realize is, so the immigration law is there for everyone.
Okay.
But some of the impediment to Africans, let me put it away, maybe Africans to general term, but in West Africa, the people that I really know, is that sometimes we do not seek the right counsel.
Okay.
Sometimes we hear from people, they say this, they say that, and that is not even the law. Some of them are even outdated law, but then we get it from friends instead of going to an attorney. And some people too, sometimes it could be a language barrier, so they are not able to get to an attorney. Some people too, it could just be they are afraid to just tell somebody their story. But I will always encourage people, the laws are there for you. Reach out to an attorney. It's not always about the money. It's that there are some people genuinely out there who want to help immigrants do well.
You as an attorney engaging most of your clients, what has been one of the fears that actually prevents people from approaching attorneys? Because they will tell you, when I go it's going to be this, maybe they'll reveal, maybe I don't have documents, so if I go he's going to get me arrested. What is exactly that fear factor?
Yes, those are part of I was saying people don't get the education. People are afraid, but the first place that you have to go is an attorney. An attorney, we have an obligation we call attorney-client confidentiality. It's a sacred oath that we swore to become lawyers. When somebody come to you and tell you their story, if it has to do with legal advice, you cannot reveal to anybody without the person's consent. So I want people to understand that when you go to a lawyer, there's no lawyer you go to that will call immigration, since we are talking in immigration context, that will report you to an immigration office or court. Now, that lawyer that you went to is your friend. That is where you should go for the information. Some people are afraid also because they think lawyers charge, so much. Usually, sometimes with immigrants, it's the money, because not all immigrants have the means. So they are afraid that the lawyer is going to ask for such and such amount of money, and they cannot afford it, so they would even try. But it's always good to have a consultation. There are some lawyers that do free consultation. For instance, when I have consultation with someone, 45 minutes, I'll charge you for a fee. But then when I end up taking your case, that fee comes out of whatever fee I'm going to charge you. So technically, it's free. There are so many ways you can engage lawyers. It's not everywhere you ask me, I'm saying I'm going to charge you money. There are some conversations we can have for free just to know what you're supposed to do. And we will help you to maneuver no matter what your problem is. You see, you have to understand when it comes to immigration, it's not like having a surgery. There's nothing emergency about immigration. So no matter how difficult the problem is, if you reach out to a lawyer, the lawyer can help you. If that lawyer can help you, he will refer you to another lawyer, or he will research your case and help you. There's always a way out in immigration if only you reach out to an attorney.
Wow. This is deep education over there. Let's look at the issue of proper documentation of immigrants, and then the law of the United States. Often you hear people, he doesn't have the proper, so I'm going to report him, so they will deport him. I'm going to report him, they will deport him. And this has become like fear. A lot of people, living in the United States are actually hiding, and sometimes they run away from their own shadows. What is the state of the law like? How is it like?
So when an immigrant tells you you don't have the proper documentation, the person simply is saying you don't have a green card. But one thing I want people to understand is, when somebody doesn't have a green card, it doesn't mean they don't have proper documentation. If somebody comes to United States with B1, B2, and it's not expired, the person have a proper documentation. So proper documentation, green card is not the only proper documentation to live in the United States. We have J1 visa, we have F1 visa. But what I have experienced in the immigrant community is when somebody comes here and they don't have the permanent residency, they are put in the category where you don't have the proper documentation. And sometimes those who are new and don't know the rules and the laws of immigration in the United States, they fall for that and they become afraid. If you came here with a B1, B2 visa, and even if that visa has expired, yes, you are out of status, but still there's a way for you to be able to adjust your status. So don't be afraid when people tell you don't have proper documentation. Or the person, you don't have green card. But not everybody has to have green card to live in the United States. There are people who don't have green card, but they have legitimate work authorization to work and live in the United States. There is so many categories of these visas that we use to live in the United States. So when somebody says you don't have proper documentation, check yourself and ask yourself, Did I enter United States? Was I given permission to enter United States? If you were given permission to enter United States, then you might have proper documentation. Proper documentation means you don't have green card. But I just want the immigrant community to understand that green card is not the only means to live in the United States legally. There are other means to live in the United States legally. But the green card gives you more of permanency. And it's also a pathway to citizenship if you decide you want to be a citizen.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm having a conversation concerning immigration issues. So many emails and text messages that we received over the past few months. I had a first online interaction with lawyer Appiagyei, and today I decided to catch him up in his office so that we can just take, a little bit. The conversation is going to be focused on him, but I just wanted to point out these issues that were major in some of the texts that the text messages that we did receive. Lawyer, you're Ghanaian. You are Ghanaian.
Yes,
and born in.
I was born in Kumasi.
Kumasi.
Komfuanochi Teaching Hospital.
Oh, G.
That's right. That's right. That's been a while. G. I have not heard the word in a long time. G. Yes. Okay. With the statue and the stool. Yes.
That's right.
That's right.
Say, yeah, G.
Yeah, we be a G. Oh, you really got me so.
Lawyer,
by the way, you're doing a fantastic job. Thank you.
Thank you, lawyer. Growing up in Ghana, how long did you stay in Ghana before migrating to America?
I stayed in Ghana for 25 years before migrating to United States. So I was born in Kumasi, early part of 70. I'm 1972 birth.
Wow.
I was born in Kumasi. My mother was mother of blessed memory, was a teacher. Was a first grade teacher in Ghana. We call it P1. My mother taught for first grade for almost 50 years.
Wow.
And my father was a customs officer.
Okay.
But by the time I was born, he had almost retired from civil service. So I was raised by a civil service father and a first grade teacher.
Wow.
In Kumasi.
Then it means you had proper foundation, because the P1 teachers, they are very strict.
My father was a little bit lenient when it comes to discipline.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, my father never disciplined me. But my mother, of course, spare the rod. That was her favorite quote. Spare the rod and spoil the child.
25 years life experience in Ghana, and you migrated to the United States. Where did you school?
So I started from St. Joseph Experimental School. That was in Ashtown. I think it was somewhere in Ashtown. Been a while. That's a long time.
Oh, yeah, Ashtown boy.
Somewhere Ashtown, yeah. So we were living in CPC.
Okay.
And the CPC was a small community between Crowfrom and Ashtown. I don't know how. It's a whole long story. We won't go into that. So I was born in CPC. So I used to go to school, St. Joseph Experimental. At that time, my mother was also teaching at KO Methodist.
Okay.
She had wanted to take me to her school, but she felt that, I need a different experience because we are always at home. Yeah. So I started from St. Joseph Experimental to P3. Then my mother had an appointment with a school in a small town in the western region called Bibiani. So Bibiani was about 55 miles from Kumasi. Okay. So my mother relocated there. Then, automatically we all went there. She went there as a first grade teacher in a private international school. It was a very high class international school at the time in that community. So I automatically migrated to BBN to continue my education, my primary education. So I went from P3 to P6. During those times, those were way back in the day. We had what we call common entrance. So I started from my common entrance in 1986. Wow. Yeah.
Wow. What was your nickname in school when you were especially in SSS?
Oh, okay.
Or O level.
O level. So I'm the O level, A level generation.
Yes.
Very good. So that's a good question. You know we don't like saying this thing because you never like. So I started, some were calling me Appiagyei because I was called Appiagyei.
Appiagyei, okay.
The Appiagyei came from a Latin word called apropinko. So I studied a little bit Latin in Form 1 at BBN Secondary School. And we had a Latin master who told us most of the English words are derived from Latin. So when I transferred from BBN Secondary School, I went from Form 1 to Form 2, then I transferred to Anglican Secondary in Kumasi, Form 3. It was an English class, and the teacher wanted us to spell a word. I think it had to do with discipline or something. Then I used a Latin term, and I said, as a matter of fact, approach comes from Latin term, apropinko. Then people started calling me Appiagyei. That's that.
Wow.
But Form 5, they called me name I never liked. When I became a senior, they called me Apalapampa.
Apalapampa.
Apalapampa was a sports master of one of the rural schools in close to Kumasi. I forget where the man was. So we went to Intako Athletics, and I saw the student calling their teacher Apalapampa. So I came to school and I said, did you know that the sports master from this school is called Apalapampa? And somebody started calling me that. It became my name. I hated it. Today I'm laughing about it, but that was not funny at the time. When you say it, I really get angry. So I know my friends watching that know me who say, we remember him very well. So that was what Ghanaian kind of say, we didn't shout at him. Apalapampa is it.
Apalapampa. Yeah. So tell me, since senior A-level experience, what is that memorable, that you have carried from that time till now?
A-level experience, I went to one of the best schools in Ghana. See, even though my parents were civil servants, I was raised in a very poor home. A very poor beginning. My mother was a first grade teacher. Ghana first grade teacher, they don't make that much. And my father has already retired. So I was raised in a poor home. But I think God helped me with a little bit knowledge to push me through. And my mother also instilled in me the importance of education. The only way the poor kid and the rich kid can sit at the table is your brain. That is the only to bring you to the table, knowledge. So I did well at O-level at the Anglican Secondary School, and I went to the best school. I don't care what anybody says in Ghana, and that is the only college in Ghana, Prempeh College. I heard we won the science quiz, and Prempeh we have a bragging rights. So I went to A-level, O-level, and A-level in Prempeh College. You say what are my memorable experience? Is the camaraderie we formed. In A-level, I had a friend called Benjamin. He was called Benko. Benjamin Opokubonsu. He was a good friend. There was another guy, I think he's even in the United States too. It's called Annette Dujenfi. We became very close friends because we did the same course together. I did economics, Christian religious studies, and government. And so we were very close together. I had a good experience at Prempeh College. I had a lot of friends at Prempeh College, but those two really stands out when I call my friends.
Coming from a poor background, making it to Prempeh College, O-level, A-level, you were able to sail through, and then you have to pursue college education. You went to University of Ghana?
I went to University of Ghana, the only university in Ghana.
Hey! What the assembly about?
Because you from poor the assembly.
Tell me, how did you survive? Because looking at the background, with all the knowledge, because I've interviewed a lot of people, they'll tell you that, listen, what is your story?
So for me, it's just by grace. It always go back to God. Like my mother was also very religious. My father was alright. He was okay, a Methodist, but he was not really into it like my mother was. everything you can think of. A Pentecostal, then later became a Jehovah's Witness. So she was very spiritual, and I believe her prayers and her guidance helped us, because we didn't really have anybody to navigate through. So my mother always say, you have to pass in such a way that the most wicked person cannot ignore your grace. And so that is what helped me. And so after Prempeh College, I did extremely well at Prempeh College. If I recall, I think I had AAB at the time. That was huge. AAB, and have something called general paper, which I had a C. And you see, now there are a lot of colleges in Ghana. That's why I call University of Ghana the only university in Ghana. At the time, I wanted to be a lawyer. I've always wanted to be a lawyer when I was a kid. So whilst other children would be playing soccer and all that, I like soccer, but I didn't know how to play. I was the kid that nobody picked on the team. First of all, I don't have the ball, and I don't know how to play. So you know how they separate the kids and they're picking up? Well, if there's nobody, let's pick on you. Because I only get to play when we don't have enough players. So I realized that was not a track for me to make it. So I used to walk from CPC to library at Cultural Center, Race Course. And it's a distance. I'll walk and go to the library, and sometimes on my way to the library, I'll continue to the courthouse. Even though I didn't know the terminology and everything, but I just love it. I'll go and see the lawyers with that, which now I detest it. When I was a kid, when I see the lawyer with that white thing and the black robe, it's another story we talk about. I really detest it. After I was getting close to become a lawyer, I didn't like it. That why would we put those things on under 99-degree sun? You know what I mean? But I used to I just go and hang around and just learning the lawyer's name and other. So I used to love that. Back to the point you asked me about. So when I did well in Prempeh College at the time, there's only track you can go straight to law school in Ghana was through University of Ghana. It was highly competitive. All A-level schools in Ghana, they take the best of the best. I think you have to have aggregate 5, nothing more, nothing less, unless maybe you know somebody who knows somebody can push you through, but you can't get anything less than 6. Anything more than 6, I mean. And I was fortunate, I didn't know anybody. So that was 1994. I passed the A-level 1991, did national service, and I went to University of Ghana 1993, 94. Don't really recall. I got admission to all the 3 universities. Wow. But then I wanted to pursue law, so automatically I went to the only university in Ghana, that is Lagos. So that's.
By the time we are done with this, not the other.
So I had a privilege to go to University of Ghana and to study law. And they will pick, I remember that time, they pick 80 students for the first year. It's not automatic that you're going to be a lawyer. After the first year, then they screen down to 60 students. So the 20 students will go to other areas. You know, University of Ghana always have so many courses. So sometimes if you don't get a law, you find yourself doing sociology or political science or sometimes history and all those subjects that really,
it wasn't your choice.
It wasn't your choice, so you are forced to do something you really don't like. But God was gracious to me. I was able to make the 60 cut. So I proceeded to do law. So I graduated from University of Ghana June of 1998.
What pushed you to come to America?
So the studying of law, I've always loved the American legal system. So our partner was more strict with the British, more similar to the British. And anytime I read the British ruling, in my mind it felt so archaic. But when you read the American rulings, it looked like they were more making innovation with the law. They were very creative with the law. So reading the British opinions, which most of them have so much weight in Ghana, was very boring to me. That was very, very boring. But anytime I read a comparison opinion from America, I get excited. And I love law libraries, even to date. Even though I'm a lawyer, I still spend time in the law library. I was one time in the law library and I saw something in the dustbin. It was a program from George Washington University School of Law. And I applied. My mother said, hey, where are we going to get this money? It was about 7,500, but if you were in Ghana, 7,500, it's even here, it's a lot of money.
Even now.
Yeah, even now it's a lot of money here.
Even now.
It was huge. Because we calculate in Ghana currency, and I was like, my mother said, hey, this man buy the whole family. But God, I have a brother-in-law who was very, he was sound financially, not even in Ghana terms, even in over here, she was all right. And he was very gracious, knew that I have a passion, I have ambition, and he wanted to help me. So he helped me to secure the visa. No, he didn't pay the 7,500, but at least he helped me to go through the visa processing. And God was gracious and I got a visa. So by the time I was done with University of Ghana, I've already gotten the visa. So I got my visa June of 1998.
Okay.
And I decided to come to United States to do that program, which was for about 3 months.
Okay.
But as you know, America, when you come, then you make your decision.
Sharp.
Whether you go back or you stay. And knowing that I love the legal system was always my mind. And when I get to America, I have to become a lawyer.
That.
Yes.
Wow. So you started the whole program, which was supposed to last for 3 months.
3 months.
And then after the 3 months, even during the 3 months period, how were you surviving? Because you knew only your brother-in-law.
Brother-in-law's, I don't know how to put it, my brother-in-law's junior brother, who was in the United States here, somewhere in New Jersey. I came to Washington, D.C., and supposed to do the program. Halfway through the program, I couldn't afford, They gave me partial scholarship. I was able to stay for about a couple of days, and they start trying to ask for their money.
Yeah.
And somebody will say, Okodu, I took my bag and I said, okay, I can pay. So my brother, I went to stay with my brother-in-law, junior brother. So my brother-in-law, let's put it that way. Yeah, so I went to stay with my brother-in-law in New Jersey. But I never lost the passion of becoming a lawyer. This was 1998. Sometimes, Mr. Frank, sometimes people, when they hear your story, they just see the top of the ice, but they don't know what is beneath. I have just graduated from University of Ghana, okay? And I was supposed to go to law school in Ghana, but like I told you, I have always loved the American legal system because it's very innovative and very creative, and it's laid back for me. That's how I put it. Ghana one was too rigid and too maybe let me just leave it at that.
Okay.
I really didn't enjoy I wanted to be a lawyer, but I didn't enjoy the Ghana legal system. So going back to do the 2 years at what we call Makola, Ghana School of Law, I didn't want to do it. I said, whatever it takes, I'm going to be a lawyer in the United States. Yeah. My classmate graduated from Ghana School of Law 2020. Oh, no, 2000. But I decided whatever it takes. And sometimes when you have a vision, you have a dream, it doesn't come easy. The fact that you want to be a lawyer doesn't mean that everybody's going to be handed to you.
Yeah.
When I came to the United States, the first job I got was a security officer. This is a guy with a degree. And some people were laughing at me. What is the essence of you people go to Legon and all that? You brag about the only university in Ghana. When you come to US, you're a security officer just like me who didn't go to school in Ghana. They make fun of you. But what sometimes people don't know that everybody has a different path, and we don't compare ourselves.
Sure.
Some people that was living, we used to laugh at me that you have a degree, you say you went to law faculty in Ghana, and you are here doing security. As a matter of fact, some of my classmates back home were laughing.
Wow.
I first started security, then I worked at a hotel where we used to clean the hotel in the night time. And
cleaning the hotel. Wow, which part of the facility is it? The
kitchen.
The kitchen.
I used to clean the kitchen. So I used to be a server for 3 days, and the 2 days I'll clean the kitchen in the night.
Okay.
So then later on, I felt like cleaning the kitchen in the night give me more flexibility in schooling and other stuff.
Okay.
So I switched to going to cleaning the kitchen. Because night time there's nobody there, so you have the room
free time to
finish early and study and other stuff.
Okay.
So I ran out the shot.
Okay.
Okay, you have to interrupt me because lawyers we like to talk.
Oh no, it's okay.
Okay.
So I was in New Jersey.
Yeah, so I was in New Jersey from 1998 to 2002, end of 2002. Then I decided I want to pursue the law. So I've been here for about 3 years now. I want to go to law school. And I have spotted a law school in Columbus, Ohio. So I transferred my job, Continental Airlines, to Columbus, Ohio.
Okay.
So that I will pursue law.
Okay.
Because the Capital Law University was going to help me. So I decided I want to pursue the law, and we came here. We came to Ohio January of 2003. By that time, I have gotten married, met my beautiful wife. We had 2 children together. And when I came here to go to school, on that October of 2003, my mother passed away.
Wow.
And that really took a toll on me because she was my everything. This woman, I mean, it pained me because I have just gotten to the position where I think I could have helped my mother. But then she was gone. As a matter of fact, it was myself. By the way, my half brother is Kingsley Appiagyei. A lot of people in Ghana knows him. He's a Reverend Kingsley Appiagyei, Trinity Baptist Church.
Yeah.
It was him, my brother-in-law, and myself. We put things together to get my mother a house. As soon as the house was done somewhere in Kumasi called Techima, she passed away. She saw the house but never lived in.
Wow, that's a sad story.
Yeah, that really changed my perspective about life and everything. So the whole desire of wanting to be a lawyer just left. I've always had 2 professions I wanted to be, a pastor or a lawyer. But I'm the type that, I'm saying this in all humility that I love education. So when I wanted to be a pastor, I remember talking to a pastor friend. He said, you don't need to go to school to be a pastor. You are educated, you can preach. You already in Ghana, I was in Scripture Union and other stuff, fellowship and all those things. Just start something. By the time you go to seminary for 3 years, if you start something, you buy about 30, 40 people. But that was never my plan. I really wanted to go to seminary. So when we came to Columbus, and the appetite for studying law left because my mother passed away. When I came back from Ghana, I was so sad. But I still wanted to pursue my dream. And that was where
becoming a pastor?
Or becoming a lawyer. But then the appetite was not there to even enroll in law school. So I decided I'm going to pursue ministry. And I said, I also love to help people. I'm somebody who loves. If I can help you, I will help you. And if there's a way to help, I will find a way to help.
Absolutely.
And as a matter of fact, left so many of the stories out in New Jersey. A lot of people will tell you, I have taken people who don't speak English to get a job. They came to the United States 6 months, they can't get a job because they don't speak English. They brought them to me, 3 people, and I took them to a place. Did the interview in such a way that only I can do that.
Wow.
Challenge the guy that if you can hire Hispanics who don't speak English to work, why can't you hire people from Africa who don't speak English to do this job? And I was not even a lawyer. And they got a job. There's a lot of people in New Jersey that they came to the church I attended, and I would take them looking for jobs for them. A lot of people got jobs through myself and my wife in New Jersey. And when we came to Ohio here, when I didn't have the desire to pursue law, I decided, okay, I've always been helping people. And I've always want to be either a pastor or a lawyer. So I think I'll go to ministry. I researched, and I wanted to go to a ministry. I wanted to go through the Methodist route.
Okay.
So I enrolled in Methodist school.
Is it because of your mom? Your mom and your dad?
Yes, we had a Methodist background, okay. And so I decided if I'm going to go to seminary, because I grew up as so I was raised a Methodist, but grew up as a Pentecostal charismatic.
Okay.
So I said, why will I go to school for what I already know?
Okay.
So I want something totally new.
Okay.
So I enrolled in, they gave me scholarship. I enrolled in Methodist Theological School in Ohio. It's a graduate seminary in Delaware, Ohio. It's about 25 minutes from Columbus. So we were living in Columbus 2023 to 2027. Oh, 2003 to 2007. So I went to Methodist School, Theological School in Ohio to pursue Masters in Divinity. I specialize in what we call systematic theology and pastoral counseling. So 2004, I enrolled in that school.
Systematic theology.
Systematic theology is, to put in a very layman context, your ability to articulate your belief and ability to differentiate between different beliefs. You know, and when somebody say they are Christian, they are Christian beliefs that as a pastor, as a Christian, you have to be able to articulate. So systematic theology really teach you and help you the concept of God. Who is God? What is God? Okay. You know, all those things teaches you the issue of Trinity, the issue of Unitarian, how Christianity all came about, and so that is. I'm just putting a very layman context for the purpose of our interview. So that is what systematic theology is about. I was very interested. I'm somebody who's always interested in logic and those kind of philosophy. So I endeavor in that, and I major in systematic theology and pastoral counseling. So 2005, I had opportunity to serve when I was in school with a Methodist church. It was in Columbus here. I don't know whether it still exists. On Westerville Road. It was Columbus' first Free Methodist church. So the Free Methodist is different from the United Methodist. Ghana is more of United Methodist. The Free Methodist is a little bit more conservative when it comes to doctrine. And they call holiness group. The Free Methodist, the Wesleyan, the Nazarene, it's all church balance. They are more Christian, called the holiness group. So I kind of joined the Free Methodist. I had a pastor who was very nice. We became friends, and he gave me opportunity to serve as an associate pastor with him. So I joined the Free Methodist. It was almost predominantly all Caucasian, what we call all white congregation. There were a few Ghanaians there, so I joined them whilst I was in school, and I followed their pastoral track. So I went to the seminary from 2004 to 2007. It was a 3-year program. And after that, I got ordained in 2008 as a Methodist minister. Wow. So forgot about the law, became a Methodist minister. We started a ministry in Columbus here with that church that I was attending. Then I was asked to preach in a place called Warren, Ohio. Predominant white congregation. As a matter of fact, I was saying, at the time I went to preach was about 100% Caucasian, so white congregation. I went to preach. The superintendent told me that they don't have a pastor. Go preach and see whether you will fit. I don't know how you're able to fit somebody coming from West Africa. America is huge. Your tone, culture, your accent, your culture, so I don't know how that will fit. Yeah. But I want to preach, and they were excited about my message, which was strange to me. Wow. I don't even know whether they understood what I was saying. But they asked me to come again. And my wife made a joke that maybe you messed up, they wanted to go and clean it up. But then they told the superintendent they want me as their pastor. Wow. So the Methodist Church appointed me to this all-white congregation in Warren in 2008. So my family relocated to Warren, Ohio, to pastor a church called New Hope Free Methodist Church. Okay. It was kind of like an experiment. The superintendent clearly told me, just see about a year. If you don't like it, let me know, and we'll reappoint you. Okay. But after a year, I sent him my vision plan for the church, and he said, "Oh, okay. I guess things are working out for you."
Settled.
I settled there. My kids went to school over there. One still go to school over there. We settled there. So from 2008 to 2019, I was pastoring an all-white congregation, predominantly white congregation. 2008 to 2019. 2019.
That is 11 period.
11 years period. So I pastored there.
Wow.
It was whilst I was pastoring the church. There's a scripture that God gave me. You know, I'm somebody who always love new challenges. I always have the next plan. I always have the next 5 years plan, the next year 10-year plans. That's how I work. I always have my projection. In the next 5 years, I'm going to go tackle this, going to do that. So whilst I was pastoring, I said, I think this is the time for me to go back to law school. So I enrolled in University of Akron School of Law. So I went to law school whilst I was still pastoring in Ohio. Whilst I was pastoring a church, I was also going to law school. You know, I graduated from law school. One thing they will tell you in the United States is passing by exams is like not double, I mean quadruple root canal in a day. It's a very difficult area of study. Just to get a license to practice law in America is tough. I mean, even people with first English as their first language, there's Americans who attend bar exams like 3, 4, 5, 6 times. But God was gracious. I get it on my first attempt. God was gracious to me, and I passed the bar exams. I was sworn in as an attorney, and the rest is history.
The rest, they say, is history. As an attorney, it's not like I did indicate early on during the introduction that it's not everybody that can practice at the Supreme Court.
That's right.